So today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to re-engineer romance. We're going to take some of our most deeply held beliefs about love and marriage, and, well, we're going to tear them apart a bit, all to figure out how to build a partnership that's truly built to last.
Okay, let's dive right in. Before we even get to the romance part, the whole building a happy marriage thing, we have to get real about the stakes. I mean, what really happens when it all falls apart? We need to understand the profound impact it has on us when a marriage actually ends.
So there's this thing called the Holmes and Rahe stress scale. It's what psychologists use to measure, the impact of major life events on us. And guess what? Divorce is number 2. It's the second most stressful experience a human being can possibly go through. The only thing worse, the death of a spouse. That's it.
And get this, it's not just stressful, it's considered more stressful than going to jail. Let that sink in for a second. More traumatic than being imprisoned. I mean, that really puts things into perspective, right? When the stakes are that high, you really want to get it right from the very beginning.
Okay, so if we're going to build something that can withstand all that, we first have to bulldoze some of the myths we've all been told. And we're going to start with the very first one, the one that greets couples right after they say, "I do."
You know, the one I'm talking about. We've all heard it. We've seen it in a million movies. It's this idea that the first year of marriage is supposed to be this perfect, effortless bliss. You're just floating on a romantic cloud 9 where everything is wonderful.
But what if that's completely wrong? According to psychologist Dr. Madhumata Singh, the reality is the exact opposite. She says the first year is actually the worst. Yeah, the worst. That post-wedding euphoria, it fades, and it fades fast. And that's when, as she puts it, ground reality hits. It's that moment when two totally separate lives, with all their weird habits and different expectations, suddenly have to smash together and become one.
And, that ground reality leads us straight into the next big myth. And this one might be the most powerful one of all. It's that idea that just feeling in love is enough to build a whole life together.
I mean, don't get me wrong, love is an amazing, beautiful, totally essential feeling. But when you're talking about the day-to-day grind, the bills, the chores, dealing with your in-laws, is that feeling, by itself, really enough to get you through all of that?
Well, Dr. Singh's answer is a hard no. She's pretty insistent that before you even think about getting married, you have to have the tough, practical conversations. She boils it all down to these 3 topics because she says they are by far the biggest sources of conflict. We're talking money, extended family, and the plan for having kids. The big 3.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds super unromantic, right? It sounds calculated. But here's the thing. The point isn't to kill the magic. The idea is that by building this super solid, practical foundation where you're both on the same page, you're actually creating a stable platform where romance and love can actually grow for years and years to come.
And she actually expands on this with 7 key areas for compatibility. And what's really interesting here is that some of these go way beyond the usual stuff you talk about. For example, she suggests looking at similar family structures, not just backgrounds, and even getting updated medical reports. Whoa. But look, this isn't about finding a clone of yourself. It's about having a crystal clear picture of the life you're trying to build together, right down to the nitty-gritty details.
All right, so this next idea it's pretty challenging. It's one that really questions the entire modern Western ideal of how a marriage is supposed to start. So Dr. Singh puts forward this really provocative theory. She suggests that what we call a love marriage often starts at a peak. It's a 10 out of 10. The romance is maxed out, the expectations are through the roof, and from there, well, the only way to go is down, right? But in contrast, she argues that an arranged marriage often starts from a practical baseline, a 0. And from there, the couple has this shared project of building love and connection from the ground up, together.
So, what happens when that ground reality finally hits and you start fighting? For most of us, that's terrifying. We're taught to see conflict as a big red flag, a sign that the whole thing is breaking down.
But the argument here is that we need a complete mindset shift. Conflict isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. Seriously, it's an opportunity. It's the path you take to truly get to know your partner and honestly, to know yourself. It's how you learn to work as a team. So avoiding conflict, well, that's just avoiding the chance to actually grow closer.
Okay, so if we just strip away all these myths, the myth of the honeymoon phase, the myth that love conquers all, and the myth that fighting means you're failing,
what are we left with? What is the real foundation of a marriage that lasts?
And this brings us to the core takeaway of this whole thing. The single most important shift is moving from this passive mindset of finding your soulmate to an active one of choosing your partner. Think about it. A soulmate is something you supposedly just find, already perfect and complete. But a partner? That's someone you choose every single day to build a life with, brick by practical brick.
And that leaves us with a final question to think about. It's not about whether you have love in your relationship. It's about what you're actually building with it. Is your relationship built to last, or is it just built on a feeling?